Hi there, this is Jennifer with Brome Fields, and today we're going to be seaming up your top down sock. And you want to make sure you have the same number of stitches on your front needle and your back needle. So I have 8 and 8, so you don't want to have 8 and 7 or 6 and 9. So 8 and 8 or 7 and 7, and you always want to make sure that your yarn is underneath the needles. So we're going to start in the front. On the left side, as if to knit, go in through here, and we're going to just slip that first stitch off onto our darning needle, and then we're going to go into the right side of the second needle, leaving it on the needle, and we're going to pull our yarn through, and we do want it a little snug, so we want a nice clean seam. And then we're going to do the opposite on the back side. So instead of going through the right as if to knit, we're going to go through the back left, the back right as if to purl, and then we're sliding it off onto our working needle, and then we're going to go into the left side as if to knit, and we're going to pull our yarn through, I have a long tail. All right, and then leaving that yarn underneath the needles, and we're leaving that second stitch on, we're going to repeat those 2 stitches. So we're going to go in through the front as if to knit, sliding it off onto our darning needle, and then we're going to not lose that second stitch in the back. We're going to go through the right side as if to purl, leaving it on the needle, and keeping our yarn underneath both. I'm going to give it a good snug. All right. And then we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to go through the right side as if to purl, and then we're going to go through the left side as if to knit, leaving that second stitch on the needle and a good tug. And then we're going to go opposite. So in, knit, and purl, purl, and knit, keeping that second stitch on. And we'll start seeing it come together here in a minute. All right, and we're going to go into knit and purl. And then we're going to go purl and knit. So see how that's coming together. All right. So going in as if to knit and purl, keeping our yarn under both needles. And then we're going to purl and knit, keeping that second stitch on. And then we're going to go knit and purl. Oh, but we're keeping that second stitch on. And then purl and knit. Knit and purl. Purl and knit. Now we have gone through, our yarn has gone through both of these last stitches, and we're just going to slip them off and snug that up. So if we pull that like that, it'll give us a nice, so maybe if we go into this stitch here, and you want to make sure you're not grabbing onto anything else on the inside. So you want it to make sure everything's good and separate, and just kind of leave it there, and then kind of work your way down to it, because it is a long tube, which is part of the appeal. And then whenever you turn it wrong side out, then we just pull it through. And you will definitely want to give it a good snug tug. I want to see what that looks like on the outside. So I still have some work to do to work on that little ear there, but they're pretty good. So whenever I am seaming that, I need to make sure that first stitch and the last stitches are pretty tight before I get started seaming it together, because it's actually a pretty nice seam. But I could probably take my felting needle and kind of push that in to make it a little prettier. All right, so now you guys can do that on yours and do that on the second one, and they are ready to wear. You do not have to steam or block these. You can wash them if you want to, but honestly, they're kind of just ready to wear. They're perfectly imperfect. So I hope you guys have fun knitting these and enjoy wearing them, and I will see you guys in the next video.